Good day everyone, my name is Divine V. Alvaran and I'm going to report the human habits and moral significance of habits. So let's start. What is human habits? Human habits are seen to be a major cause of society issue. Human habits are unconscious pattern of conduct that people repeat frequently.
What are the 6 healthy behaviors?
For getting enough sleep, a good night's sleep is important to recharge both the body and mind. It helps the body repair cells and get rid of waste. Second is being physically active. 30 minutes a day of physical activity protects heart health. It also lowers the amount of bone loss as you age. Lowering the risk of osteoporosis physically active is a low-cost way to boost your health. Even by just washing your windows, moving your lawn, sweeping a sidewalk, and doing other basic tasks, you're racking up physical activity time. Third is maintaining healthy body weight. There isn't any real magic when it comes to keeping a normal body mass index or BMI. Eating a healthy diet and exercising daily are the true secret for most people. Fourth is not smoking. If you want a chance to live well however long you live, do not smoke or chew tobacco. Fifth is limiting alcohol. It has a long-term benefits. First is lower blood pressure, lower risk of stroke, hypertension, cancer, or liver disease. Third is lower cholesterol levels. Fourth is better mood, memories, and quality of sleep. Fifth is help with weight management. Lastly, eating a healthy diet. A healthy diet gives you energy and lowers your risk for heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and other diseases. Start with filling half your plate with fruits and vegetables.
What are the 5 unhealthy human habits?
Number 1 is not drinking enough water. Number 2, eating late at night. 3, not getting enough exercise. 4, skipping on sleep. 5, eating too much sodium. For number 1, so how much water should you be drinking? The Institute of Medicine says adult men need about 13 cups per day of fluid. Adult women need about 9. You get about an additional 2 and 1/2 cup of fluid from foods because one size doesn't fit all. The way to know if you're adequately hydrated is to monitor your urine color. If it's light yellow, the color of lemonade, that means you're drinking enough. Second is eating late at night. There are a couple of reasons why you should think about moving your dinner hour earlier. Researchers suspect that the longer lapse between meals allows the body to process the food more efficiently. There is some researchers around intermittent fasting where you space out your meals and eat in a shorter window that suggests it may help with weight loss. Third is not getting enough exercise. Physical activity has lots and lots of healthy benefits. Seriously, the list goes on. Not only does it keep you looking and feeling great, but exercising regularly can help you lose weight and boost your energy. Exercising regularly can also help you live longer. Additionally, exercise keeps your heart healthy. Lower your risk of some types of chronic disease such as breast cancer and some aggressive forms of prostate cancer. Improves blood flow to your brain, keeping you sharp and help with blood sugar control. Number 4. Skipping on sleep. You know that falling short on sleep is a major no-no. But what's the big deal? Research shows that not getting enough shut-eye can impact a whole slew of things. It can compromise your immune system, your judgment, and ability to make decisions. You are also more likely to make mistakes, and your heart health. Being sleep deprived may fuel depressions and make it harder for you to lose weight. If you're dieting, and more likely that you'll give it to sweet temptation tomorrow. Eating too much sodium. One of the easiest way to cut your sodium intake is to cook at home using fresh ingredients. Restaurants' food and processed foods both tend to be very high sodium. To trim your sodium intake even further, try boosting the flavor of food cooked at home with herbs and spices rather than salt. What is moral significance of habits? Moral practices are sometimes seen as personality qualities, but if you think about it, habits are what shape character. Here are the behaviors Charlotte highlighted that easily fit into the category of moral habits. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow a habit, reap a character. By Charlotte.
Moral Habits by Charlotte Mason. First is obedience. Part of being obedient is showing respect to your parents, honoring their ideas about what's best for you, and showing that you think they are worth listening to. Make sure that you listen when they talk and respond when they ask you to respond. Don't ignore them in public. Second is truthfulness. Require exact facts without omission or exaggeration. Teach your child to avoid qualifying his statement with I think or perhaps. Be sure before you speak. Don't use excessive language for common situations. For example, that was such an awesome sandwich. Next is intellectual virtues, moral virtues, and vices.
So, what is intellectual virtues? Intellectual virtues are mental and moral attributes that foster intellectual growth, critical thinking, and the search for the truth. They consist of intellectual humility, imagination, curiosity, fair-mindedness, perseverance, openness, empathy, honesty, intellectual courage, trust in reason, love of truth, and autonomy. Here the intellectual virtues includes. First is intellectual responsibility. Intellectual responsibility, also known as epistemic responsibility, is a philosophical concept related to that epistemic justification. Second is perseverance. Continue effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. The action of condition or an instant of persevering. Third is open-mindedness. Is willingness to search actively for evidence against one's favored beliefs, plans, or goals, and to weigh such evidence fairly when it's available. Being open-minded does not imply that one is indecisive, wishy-washy, or incapable of thinking for oneself. Fourth is empathy. Empathy is used to describe a wide range of experiences. Emotion researchers generally define empathy as the ability to sense other people's emotion, coupled with the ability to imagine what someone else might be thinking or feeling. Fifth is integrity. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles or moral uprightness. Six is intellectual courage. Intellectual courage may be defined as having a consciousness of the need to face and fairly address ideas, beliefs, or viewpoints towards which one has strong negative emotions and to which one has not given a serious hearing. Seventh is confidence. Confidence in reasoning is the habitual tendency to trust reflective thinking, to solve problems, and to make decisions. As with the other attributes measured here, confidence in reasoning applies to individuals and to groups. 8 is love of truth. Philosophy means the love of truth, not the love of theories, speculation, or beliefs. Truth is not yours or mine, and therefore you cannot follow anybody. Truth cannot be found through another. You have the eyes to see it. It may be there with a dead leaf, but you have to see it. Intellectual humility is the acceptance that one's belief and opinions could be wrong. Another characteristic which may accompany intellectual humility include a low concerns for status and acceptance of one's intellectual limitations. Intellectual humility is often described as intellectual virtue. 10 is imaginativeness, the ability to form mental image of things that either are not physically present or have never been conceived or created by others. 11 is fair-minded, free from self-interest, prejudice, or favoritism, a very fair person to do a business with. 12. Autonomy. In a simple sense, autonomy is about a person's ability to act on his own or her own values and interests. Taken from ancient Greek, the word means self-legislation or self-governance. Modern political thought and bioethics often stress that individual autonomy should be promoted and respected. 13. Curiosity. A strong desire to know or learn something. An example of curiosity is always asking questions, reading books, and going out to try to learn about the world.
Next is moral virtues. The major intellectual virtues are wisdom, which direct ethical behavior, and understanding, which is reflected in scientific endeavor and contemplation. Moral virtues are exemplified by courage, temperance, and liberality.
Number one is generosity. Generosity is the quality of being kind and generous. Second is compassion. Compassion is the sympathetic pity and concern for the sufferings or misfortunes of others. For example, the victim should be treated with compassion. Third is honesty. The meaning of honesty is the quality of being honest. For example, they spoke with convincing honesty about their fears. So that's the meaning of honesty. Next is solidarity. Solidarity is the unity of agreement of feeling or action, especially among the individual with a common interest, mutual support within a group. For example, factory workers voice solidarity with the striking student. Fortitude is a courage in pain or adversity. For example, she endured her illness with a great fortitude. Yan. Second to the last is justice. Justice is just behavior or treatment. For example, a concern for justice, peace, and genuine respect for people. For the last is patience. Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. For example, you can find bargains if you have the patience to sift through the dross.
What is vices? Aristotle said that vices was primarily defined in theology as the absence of virtue, while philosophers use his definition of virtue as the middle ground between two opposite vices, one of which represented an excess and the other a deficiency of the virtue in issue. Next is one of the most commonly referred vices include greed, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, pride, and laziness. And that's all for today's guys. I hope you learned something and thank you guys for listening to my presentation.